Hello everyone. I am waiting for my guest Paromita Bardoloi to join in. Paromita is a feminist, an author, and I would like her to introduce herself more as soon as she joins in. And today we are going to talk about, well, what do feminists talk about? Women talking. Just two women talking, two feminists talking. Of course, we'll talk about men. We talk about the lovely habit men have about mansplaining everything that they think has a problem, is wrong, and it doesn't concern them. It actually only concerns women. Okay, so I think uh, Paromita is here. Hi.
Hello, how are you? Let me put my earphones. Let me just.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Do we have some viewers or not? Well,
That's all right.
it's like really not easy to get viewers, and I've been like, people have been telling me that you should do this on YouTube. Well, it's my friend. Yeah.
That's all right. People will always watch later.
Yeah,
So
so but
that's
I'm like, let's make this space, and then people can catch up later when they get time. That's not an issue.
always,
Yeah.
because it's a
So
working day, right?
but I still thought that we should do it live, and we should do it on YouTube, because
Yes.
YouTube is where everybody is. Like, the whole world watches YouTube. It's like really far, a lot more reach. And if you do it live, it becomes more, like spicy. It becomes more spontaneous.
True.
You don't have to edit. You don't have to think. You can be free. It's like just two women talking in their free spirits. So I wanted to
Absolutely.
do it that way. So
Is
how are
my
you today?
voice, am I audible? That is the main question. Am I
Yeah.
audible too? Okay,
But
perfect.
to me, you're slightly low. The voice is slightly low though. But I don't know if it's how is it for other viewers, because
Now it
last
is
time
better.
I
Now is
think
it
it's
better?
better. Yeah, it's if
Okay,
you
I'll
want.
just speak this way and I'll speak louder because every time I have
Yeah.
spoken on
If you yeah
live or something, the voice goes a little crazy. So I think now it is better. So I was like, yeah. How
yeah, this
are
is
you?
better.
Pretty woman,
I'm
how
good.
are you?
How are you?
I
How are
am
you?
good. I'm
How's
very
been
good.
your
It's
day
great.
like? What you've been doing today?
Today I slept a lot and I'm just busy being happy. So that's all I
Oh
did today.
wow, wonderful. I've been, I just posted a video that I've been like putting on makeup, and I'm looking at my face, and I'm like, look at those lips, like look at the color of the lipstick, like looking so nice, and I'm
Yeah.
admiring
Which
my own
shade is
face.
this? I saw your lipstick. Which shade is this?
I mixed actually. I like, it's my own thing. It's my own doing. I mixed two shades. One is purple, dark purple, and one is brown. And then it
कौन सी
came
शेड है कौन सी शेड किसकी मेबलिन की है क्या
Maybelline. One, yeah, both were Maybelline. One was dark chocolatey, and one was dark mauve, dark purple. And then I mixed them. That's how it becomes. And I thought that it is looking very nice. And I've been like admiring.
it is that's why I thought I'll ask you before we
Yeah,
start the
I know.
conversation.
I know, right? And people wouldn't believe this, that I can actually admire my own face, my lips, my eyes. I go
No,
like
I'm
that.
sure other people also do. I mean, because of the trolling that go through, I think it is working on your psyche that no one else appreciates me. I think it started to work on your psyche because people say most weird thing ऐसे ही
Yeah.
है ना? So I think it is working on your psyche that I can people think that only I cannot admire myself. People maybe they do admire you.
No, but it's not just the trolls though, because like admiring ourselves is also doesn't naturally comes to all of us, to a
True,
lot
that
of
doesn't come
us.
to women.
A
It
lot
doesn't
of
come to
us
women.
actually who should be admiring themselves find
All
it
of us
very
should be
difficult
admiring
to do.
yourself.
Yeah, who don't. A lot of us women don't, and I'm just not just saying it because of the trolls. Yes, the trolls hate my political opinion. That's fine, but I feel that it is just that something that we have been so from our childhood. हमें ये बोला गया है ना कि मतलब यू हैव टू बी लाइक हम्बल एंड हम ह्यूमिलिटी मीन्स यू कांट admire yourself and you can't even like I don't know like all these traits of being humble and all, then at the end of the day we don't end up like this Dr. House. Do you know do you watch Dr. House?
No, I
Doc,
don't.
you haven't. So Dr. House has this wonderful dialogue. He says that well, humility is a great trait, particularly if you are wrong a lot. Like he's like, and if you are right all the time, then self doubt doesn't really help you. So he compares humility with self doubt, and he says, well, if you're wrong all the time, then humility is a great trait. But if you're right, then you shouldn't ever have self doubt, because, like, if he of course says it in the context of medical science, because
Of course.
they are in the business of saving lives. So if you
True.
are wrong about a diagnosis or a medical procedure, then you probably should be like you
True.
should be humble and should think twice. And if you are like right, then you should not have self doubt and go at with do it. So
No, we
yeah,
don't know difference between humility and अपना सर किसी के पाँव के नीचे दे देना. We don't know the
ah,
difference between it.
I
Humility
know.
can have a lot of self-respect and lot of power. Humility is, I'm so good, I know it, so I don't have to speak it out on your face. But हमें पता नहीं कोई बोल दे आप अच्छे हो हम तो no, you are more beautiful. We change the conversation, right? You tell a woman how beautiful it is, चाहे आप भी हो, people start changing conversation. We are not sitting there and taking it. हम उल्टा
Yeah,
देना शुरू कर देते हैं,
right. Very
है
true.
ना? So we
Yeah,
don't
I
know the
know.
difference between humility and disrespecting oneself. हम लोगों ने सोचा
Respecting
जितना खुद
oneself.
को और डिसरेस्पेक्ट करोगे हम उतना अच्छा वुमन है ना?
Yeah, I
खुद की
know.
बेइज्जती कर करके जिंदगी खराब हो जाती है. So that is what exactly happens. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so Paramita, let's start this officially now. We've been like chit chatting, and so this is the feminist space. I think we have some viewers. So this is the feminist space, and we're going to talk about women's issues, everyday issues, just casual chit chat, free spirited women talking about feminism. Why is it so misconstrued? We'll also talk about, of course, men, because men love to talk about women. Men love to explain things to women. So we will also talk about men. But before that, I welcome my guest, Paromita Bardoloi. She is a feminist. She's an author. She has a lovely book that she's recently written. But I'll let her introduce herself. Paramita, go ahead and please share with the viewers about yourself.
Let me say that I'm a very good friend of Sanyupta and I love her, and that is why I'm in this podcast. And now we can have the conversation.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, and so let's before, of course, we want to talk about mansplaining, because two couple of things this week on Twitter that I saw, and just when I was seeing those tweets, I saw your tweet on like if mansplaining could be taxed, then and if the proceeds could be given to all the women, then nobody will be like, what was it? There would be no,
Not one woman will be poor in India.
not one woman would be poor in India if mansplaining will be taxed and if the proceeds could be given to women. So I was like, this actually perfectly fits, because what I am right now watching on going viral on Twitter was these two tweets that I'm going to talk about them right now in a while, and then your tweet. So it all fit together. I thought that mansplaining would be a great topic to talk about, because again, something we keep hearing, but we don't really, a lot of people don't really know what it is. But before that, women reservation bill has been passed. What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I'm on a fence right now because though the bill is passed, but isn't that finally men who will be putting their own woman with whom they have the power on the place of position and then be the quasi kings? That is my view. Are women in that kind of power where okay, now the woman will be one who will be elected and they will be taking our position? My point is that so much of power already lied in men. Now they will be electing their daughters, their bahus, and the way Rabri Devi was. Let us be
Yeah,
honest about it.
yeah,
Who?
absolutely.
So the now it will be easier for men to have to be quasi kings, right? So that is why, because the whole power structure is so disbalanced, which is mostly with men. Do we have we prepared those women to take the hold of power? So, and especially, will it again be an upper caste woman club? That is what I am a little sitting on the fence and watching. So, though it is a good thing, 33% of women
Yeah.
elected will be a woman, but I am also a little bit skeptical that actually who will hold power. That is
Yeah,
what my question.
absolutely. Very, very, very important point. Apart from the fact that the bill will probably be implemented, if at all, by 2029. Apart from the, reading in between the lines, the loopholes, which is that it's going to be really delayed. It's like, as of now, the 15 lakh, the new 15 lakh in our accounts. So, but apart from that, the other important factor that you raised is that are are the men of those family, like the political families, and while everybody wants to attack the Congress for being this dynasty, let's admit every political party is a dynasty party, and every a political leader is coming from a family of politicians. So almost every other leader that we have today is a second generation or a third generation political leader, because their fathers were also, and in some cases their mothers. Will they not be again nominating their bahus and their betis to the
That is my
position?
question. How
And
power will be
and
distilled? The
yeah,
power needs to be distilled. That is how the constitution of this country was made. But power को ऊपर ही सक करके रख लिया है ना? And it
huh,
became a upper caste men club at the end of the day. Even
right.
you and I are not a part of that club. Let us be honest about it.
Let's be yeah, absolutely.
So you see, right? So that is my question. Though the bill is being passed, and I understand that will be next election if it comes through, and we will be much
Yeah,
older
it,
and hope
after
wiser then.
delimitation, after census and after delimitation,
Yeah, that
two
is
of these.
two of this are there, and of course that is in next election. Next मतलब जो ये नहीं इसके बाद वाले election, and we
Huh,
will be
huh.
hope older and wiser by then, and maybe we'll have different opinions by then. 5 साल बहुत होते हैं, but मेरा वही है, वही upper caste power politics के part तो ये नहीं बन जाएगा. This is what I really worry about. Power distill nahi hua hai even after 76 years of independence.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you and I wouldn't have been sitting and having this conversation.
Yeah, very true. There was this report on Times of India a few days back, which was about the sarpanch, the village panchayats in Haryana, and how every village panchayat where there is a woman sarpanch, the seat is reserved for the women sarpanch. Her husband is taking all the decisions.
Yes, yes, yes.
She is merely putting her thumb half the time, because they are not even literate, so they are just putting her thumb. And the posters that you see on the village will carry the husband or the jamai or the brother, or like some male related to the woman is actually handling all the powers, and she's just on paper, because it's a reserved seat. She is on paper, but the real power is again in the hands of the men. But I saw a movie long back. I can't remember the name. Was it Bhumika or some? I think Bhumika maybe. It was like those Mrinal Sen, Shyam Benegal, 80s, 90s artsy film. And it had this thing in there that these seats are reserved, and women are just made to sit there as puppets or as paper heads. But somehow, at some point, there is this realization that hits them, that we have the power and that we should take it in our hands. And that's my only hope, that at least, I mean, this possibility that this will be misused by men who would just simply make puppet, figureheads. Women will become figureheads. This possibility is there, but that should not stop us from giving us the reservation. And I, like you rightly said, 5 साल भी बहुत होते हैं. So maybe we will have some more awareness. Maybe we'll have some more opinions on this, and maybe women will, you know, will slowly realize that we are not supposed to just be figureheads. That, this, we should be taking the part in
But
our hands.
Sanjukta, the more I know the society, the more I talk to people, and the more I age, I have very less hope of that happening. Honest to
You
God.
don't have that. You don't not so optimistic then.
I am not an optimist because with age you see you understand things which you didn't understand in your 20s. You know, you see the power structure, how it is distilled, how it works. The nexus is very shadowy, it doesn't show, but it is like a ghost. It penetrates within you and it makes you do things maybe you are not even aware of. Patriarchy works in structurally, socially, politically, religiously, conversations. It has taken over everything. If you really watch it, so do I think 5 years someone will have that realization? I don't think. Maybe. I am not
So,
optimistic, to be
so
very honest. The more I age, no.
yeah.
My answer is no.
No, you're right, because it's just so deeply entrenched, and I hear you, and I know that how pathetic things are around us when we start talking about it. So to hope, my only thing is that, well, let's give the reservation and then see what happens. That's that's
हाँ वो
that's
तो
my
है.
only.
गिविंग अ चांस जैसे वुमेन एजुकेशन को दिया गया है, वुमेन को
uh,
राइट टू डिवोर्स दिया गया, स्टिल वी हैव 1% people who actually divorce in this country where 56% of women goes through domestic violence, है ना.
yeah,
आपके मुंह पे वो मार के दिया है कि दिस इज व्हाट इट इज. सो अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क नीड्स टू डन एंड
right.
बहुत लोग कहते हैं बिकॉज वी आर वर्किंग एंड व्हेन विल इट चेंज. इट विल टेक generations to change this because this has worked for generations and centuries through scriptures से लेकर आप रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी से spirituality, God everywhere is so well entrenched, like a
Hmm.
horror story, like a smell, and you cannot unsmell it. और हमें पता भी नहीं चलता. And I'm sure as we grow up, we will realize there are still parts of patriarchy in us because we are needed in the same floor. उसी में हमको नीड किया गया है. ऐसा
Yeah,
तो नहीं है ना कि हम लोग एकदम वेक अप वन डे एंड इट इज ओवर. कभी
yeah,
कभी शायद मैं भी बोल हाँ कैसी लग रही है वो बोल दिया होगा ना. आई डोंट नो. सो इट टेक्स ए लाइफ टाइम ऑफ अवेयरनेस. सो इसीलिए मैं कैंसिल नहीं करती हूँ लोगों को क्योंकि सबकी अवेयरनेस वक्त लगता है. आई डोंट कैंसिल पीपल.
yeah, right. Actually, that should bring us to very smoothly to the topic of our main topic, which is mansplaining. Because everything that you just said, Paramita, if you try to talk about this thing on Twitter, I'm running the Women News handle now, and I have been talking about all of these topics for Twitter for many years. And you will have men come and telling you, oh,
Okay.
patriarchy is nothing. Patriarchy is a Western concept. The other day, it's not just the men. The other day, this girl, Apurva or Abhilasha Purvan, she is this new, RSS Sanghan. She's this new Sanghan in town, and she's been making these, wild tweets about men's rights and about, she's like totally anti-feminist, and she's like, patriarchy has got nothing to do with it. So what is this explaining, and why we call it mansplaining? Look, first I'll let you explain the word mansplaining. What does it mean? What is mansplaining?
When a woman says something, जैसे उस दिन किसी ने कहा कि इंडिगो इतना चार्ज करता है, प्लीज हैव सैनिटरी पैड्स. एंड मैन आर लाइक तुम लोग अपने बैग में क्यों नहीं रखते हो. We do have periods sometimes when the dates are not on, है ना, कभी overflow हो जाता है. So men
Right.
are explaining that our periods are not important. In brief, that is mansplaining.
So
Men
men
tell us,
explaining to
yes,
women.
yeah, that our how our sexual health is. So
Yeah.
that is in brief is mansplaining, and they only decide. It is when policies are made. They are mostly made by men. So whether we should have breaks, whether we should have leave, बच्चे मतलब 3 months का maternity leave होगा नहीं होगा, it is men who are deciding, who don't have our bodies,
Yeah.
है ना?
Yeah.
So basically, that is mansplaining, telling women what to do. Basically, we are just वही feudal system हो जाती है, that we belong to men. And when you belong to a man, जो आप poster की बात कर रहे थे, when you belong to a man, what happens? Who is the king? Who explains you?
Yeah.
तुम्हारी periods में तुम्हें इतना तो दर्द नहीं होता है. When it is
Yeah.
our body. सो
Yeah.
गैसलाइट किया जाता है, तो मुझे क्या तब तो मुझे चुप कराया जाता है कि शायद आई एम ओवर थिंकिंग, वुमेन आर ओवर इमोशनल की जो बात आती है,
Men
मैड
explaining
वुमेन.
to women that we are over emotional, we are overthinkers, and that we are being, we don't really understand our own body, our own pain, our own emotions, and men trying
इन्फेंटलाइज
to
किया,
explain to us.
it is they infantilize women, and that
Yeah,
is when you don't have to give them power. A puppy को ना घर पे, you have a cat, you love the cat, but the cat doesn't have a power over you. वो love
yeah.
का थोड़ा, but tomorrow if you want to abuse the cat, you can do it. It just that society के
Actually,
सामने
yeah,
ना हो.
yeah, yeah. You know the cat. So you said a very interesting things about the cat. Like when I got my cat, and I wrote it on my Facebook that I am very conflicted because it's my principle at the level of principles. This whole idea of having a pet is something very problematic to me because we love these pets and we put them on a leash, we put them in a basket, and we carry them around with us and we feed them. We love it so much because it is completely disempowered and it is completely dependent on us for its survival. I mean, a lot of people will tell you, no, cats can be very, cats or dogs can have their own demands. You don't know how demanding they can be. Oh, but come on. Like, really, they have no power. If I don't feed this cat, it'll just die, like be it a cat or a dog or any kind of pet. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that this notion of loving the pet has a deep sense of selfishness and possessiveness imbibed in it. So and when men do that to women, when men say I love you so much and that I'm going to take care of you and I'm going to put you in a basket and carry you around and and protect you from all harm, therefore I have to put you in a cage. That's what men do. That's infantilizing. That's अगेन थोड़ा मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ कि इन्फेंटलाइजिंग का मतलब ये है कि हम उस महिला को बच्चा समझ रहे हैं, जैसे माँ बाप बच्चे को. बट पारोमिता, इवन द मॉडर्न एज पेरेंटिंग ये कह रहा है कि इवन एज अ पेरेंट you shouldn't actually be treating your child as a disempowered voiceless entity. You have to listen to your child. You have to
So I'll
pay.
tell you something. See, this is how power works. है ना? I can understand about the dog because a dog doesn't have the brain a human has. इट इज़ नॉट वेरी सेफ एनिमल. कोई पत्थर मार सक, बच्चे भी पत्थर मार के चले जाएंगे. तुम्हें अगर कोई किसी ने पत्थर मारा तो तुम तो मतलब मार दोगे हाथ से, राइट? So they don't think that here women are fully human beings capable of making choices. Because when women make choices, they make emotional, crazy, bad choices that which only affects them in a crazy way. Therefore, when women make mistake, it becomes a joke. कहा था ना, औरत को बहुत दिया था. Men make mistake. It is their they learn from mistake. Women seen from mistake. तुम्हें अगर बहुत कुछ दे दिया, बहुत वो दिया था ना, फ्रीडम दिया था, देखा दूसरी
देखा.
कास्ट में शादी हुई,
Yeah,
देखा.
yeah,
सो that woman will be used as a scrapbook कि देखो उन दीदी जैसा मत बनना, देखा उनकी बेटी को इतना दिया था. So basically, it is about power. A lot of mothers, because they don't have any power on the in their family, their power comes from the child. How the child is finally dependent. इस ये तो 30 साल का हो गया है, अभी भी मैं इसका बेड बना के देती हूँ, है ना? So that is where she exercises her power. So
yeah.
men, he feels very powerful that there are this kind of women who are dependent on me. मैं नहीं रहूंगा तो ये लोग कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे.
Yeah.
You see? So, structural, if you have to understand anything in life, understand power. It shows you everything, starkly. In relationship, if you have to understand someone, just understand power. Baki is like you can take a lifetime, but
Power
understand the
is
power
everything,
structure.
absolutely. And last,
And that
on
is
our last
why,
conversation, so,
and
sorry, so
that is
yeah,
why people run after money. And they tell that women don't need money, they only need love. But everyone runs after money because money gives you a lot of power. And that is why we talk about paid labor and unpaid labor.
yeah,
It is all
absolutely.
systematic. It is systematic. Because when you have that power to feed yourself, to clothe yourself, to shelter yourself, no one can keep you hungry. My power is there when I can keep Sanyukta happy. She will do what I tell her to do. Basically, what is power? Power is having that, having that scripture in the hand, that stick in the hand, and I can make you do what I want you to do.
Yeah,
That is exactly what it is. चाहे वो boss हो, चाहे पति हो, चाहे पत्नी हो. Why women are so people pleasing? Because that is how they have kept themselves safe for generations. है ना?
yeah.
So एक बार power structure बहन तुम समझ जाओगी ना, everything else becomes very easy in life. Who has the power?
We should talk about more about power structure on this space actually. Last time also, so Sayani was there last time, and we had this exact conversation, because our conversation, I'll just give you a brief, started from when on Twitter there was this conversation about again Sayani was questioning gender roles. And so this Abhilasha Purvar, who wrote a reply in which she said, "Oh, these gender roles are nothing but biologically constructed things, because पहले ज़माने में जो होता था कि women did not have reproductive uh, contraceptions. So there was no, the technology of condoms and other contraception was not invented till the whatever she it's her these are her dialogues till the 60s. Therefore उस जमाने में ज्यादा बच्चे हो जाते थे, तो इसीलिए उनको घर में रहना, they were, it was more conducive, that would do stay at home and do the kitchen work and all that. Oh, Paromita just left. So I'm going to just, I'm going to, as she joins, I'm going to just talk about, are you there, Paromita? Oh, this says the guest left or something. I don't know. Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so she says that because the it's not got nothing to do with gender roles or patriarchy. It's just that because they were giving birth to so many children, 7 8 10 11 बच्चे होते थे, तो इसीलिए वो घर पे रहते थे, वो conducive था. So I told her, like from the Women News Twitter account, I told her that, but do you understand that this is violence? This is sexual violence to keep the woman at home and repeatedly impregnate her and make her so disempowered that she has no choice but to be in the kitchen and the maternity ward all the time. And she says, like, hear this thing, okay? Hear me out here. This is what anti-feminist, right-wing, patriarchal response to the power structure that you just discussed here. She says that that women were getting pregnant so many times because of their love and desires, because of their love and sexual desires. Are you trying to say that all the women are disempowered? Are you trying to, so the nationalistic idea of looking at things is to not accept that women are disempowered, that women are, that the women do not have a choice in marriage how many times she will be impregnated, and particularly when we're talking about the time when there was no contraception, because she's talking about her previous generation when there was no, like, हमारी दादी नानी 10 10 बच्चे पैदा करते थे, अरे तो वो डिसएम्पावर्ड थे. और आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि 10 बच्चे इसलिए पैदा होते थे क्योंकि उनकी बचपन में शादी करवा देते थे, और फिर उनको बोल दिया जाता था कि अब तुम इस आदमी के साथ जाओ, यही तुम्हारी लाइफ है, और तुम्हें जीना मरना, तुम्हारी डोली अर्थी, व्हाटएवर व्हाटएवर, वो जो हिंदी फिल्मों में हम सुनते हैं कि डोली एक बार उठ गई है तो अर्थी तुम्हारे ससुराल से उठेगी, मतलब यू हैव टू डाई देयर, यू कांट एवर कम बैक. uh, and she completely, and she is so wrong that it is still haunting me. Her views is still haunting me. That's why I'm repeating her in this channel. That she completely denies the power structure, and not just her, and she's just a sample piece. But most, again, men will come and explain to you that today also, like on Twitter, another man who said the exact same thing, that are you living in like which century? These days women are not so disempowered anymore. Women can. So I was we were talking about how there is this poster in which there are no women in tech at all. There was a poster by Times Tech Summit, and they have no women on the panel. They're like 10 or 12 panelists, and every panelist is a man. So when I questioned it, here comes a man trying to explain to me, but what if women are not simply not qualified to be a panelist? And I'm like, men are not sitting there because of their merits or qualifications, but because of their male privilege. And because some women have been, because for that man to be on that panel, there is a woman who has been held back. For every man who is successful, there is not a woman who is standing and supporting him behind. No. Behind every successful man, there is a disempowered, enslaved woman. So I mean, I would want to change that. Like behind every successful man, there is a woman supporting him. No, there is a woman who has been denied the same opportunities, and that's why the man is successful. So, and this man is like, oh my God, you are sitting in some old centuries. These are women choices. So, so when you say power structure, this is what men will do
No, what is
and
happening is
explain.
that
Yeah.
basically it is when you are sitting on privileges and making decisions out of the same box that you are in. So वो tell me हमारे बहू बहन ने कभी नहीं कहा कि प्रॉब्लम है
Ah.
स्पेस दिया है टू हैव दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन मारपीट ही कर दोगे इतना तुम लोग चीज़ों को डीलेजिटिमेट कर देते हो ऐसा तो हुआ ही नहीं है गैसलाइटिंग इज आवर फेवरेट नेशनल एक्टिविटी राइट एंड वुमेन ऑल्सो डू इट टू वुमेन अरे
Yeah.
इतना खराब थोड़ी ना था पति ने पीता ही तो था वो दूसरों के साथ सोया थोड़ी ना था यू नो
We
वी
hear that all the time.
delegitimize delegitimize people's trauma एंड हमारे घर में तो होता नहीं है डिड यू हैव दैट स्पेस टू हैव दोस कॉन्वर्सेशंस है ना the point is that when you sit in privilege it is very easy for me I can always say that there are certain inherent privileges that I have education parents and everything I have a lot of privileges I cannot say that the similar for a Dalit woman in UP a Dalit woman who is also maybe disabled plus LGBTQA.
Yeah.
Structure वैसे काम करता है and that is why we need to have some sensitivity, understanding of how power works.
Yeah.
तो हर चीज़ को इतना आपको डिस ऐसा तो होता ही नहीं है जैसे आई जस्ट पुट अप वो मेट्रो का ना जो नहीं वो जो लोकल ट्रेन्स होते हैं बॉम्बे के आई सेड दैट इट इज सो डिह्यूमनाइजिंग यू पुशिंग पीपल रशिंग आउट एंड
That
वुमेन आर जस्ट
another
लटक
viral. Yeah,
के
yeah, yeah.
and someone
Women
said it
rushing
can be a
in the
woman's
train
choice.
compartment.
I said
Ah.
that is survival. This is survival, and I have full empathy for them. But can't we ask for better amenities where people can sit
Yeah.
and go? Like Delhi has. We don't have people hanging over the metro, and they. And someone was telling that they went for the 10th board exam दे रहे थे. Metro जा रही थी. A woman fell and the body was cut into two pieces right in front of their eyes. ये मेरे अभी भी, if you go to my timeline, someone has written about it. The point
Oh
is
my
that
God.
because no one gave them safe spaces to have this conversation, तो बात होती नहीं है.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
point is that because there are no conversations, कि घर में
Yeah.
the mother is not happy cooking. Or we will just say that माँ emotional हो रही है सब पे चिल्ला रही है that's a part of life. Why is she shouting all the time? Because you have all been sitting on her rights and privileges. You did not give her a chance to express her humanity. है
Yeah.
ना? And that is why she is screaming and shouting. But we have another thing. औरत है तो यार औरत जात तो बोलती ही रहती है.
बोलती
Do
रहती
you
है, हाँ.
understand that?
Yeah.
पागल औरत. There is really this crazy woman का जो phenomenon है patriarchy का. You and I
Yeah.
are crazy women because we are talking, and this woman will grow old with a cat. These are stereotypes patriarchy has,
Yeah.
and it is so
Stereotypes.
easy to buy into it. So
Yeah.
basically, when you are in the power structure, basically at the cream of the power structure, you are upper caste men, with generations of people who have been educated,
Yeah.
है ना? तो आपकी जो पावर स्ट्रक्चर उसमें बैठ के women are empowered in this country. How do you know what my empowerment is? How do you know? Do you have this conversation? नहीं. Women are meant to be loved, not to be understood. पहले ये बहुत अच्छा लगता था लोगों को सुन के, but how humiliating it is that you are an object I can love, but it doesn't matter what you feel about it.
Yeah.
This is humiliating to a human being. That
Thinking,
you
yeah,
and I,
thinking women, a woman thinking itself, like this, there's this sculpture, Thinking Man, right? Uh, there's this
yes,
famous
yes,
sculpture,
ऐसे करके हाँ ऐसे करके है. Yes, I've seen it.
Thinking Man or something.
Hmm.
Thinking woman has never been, I mean,
No, no, it has never been a part of the pop culture. Never been,
pop
never
culture.
been.
I mean, look at, imagine any of our pop culture artifacts, posters, like we would never have women depicted as thinking persons. Women are always
That is
depicted,
that is her power structure is.
you
माँ
know,
के हाथ का खाना. Have you
women
heard
are
this big?
seen as victims, vulnerable, or they are objects of beauty. And that's exactly why I even thought of starting a woman related, like I said that journalism needs to meet feminism, because, and that's why I started Women News. Because if you look at the mainstream media, how mainstream media covers women, they report on crimes against women where women are victims and vulnerable, etc. Or they report on all the Bollywood and the fashion world, and where women are glamour objects of glamour and fashion industry. And the third thing that people report on in the mainstream media is when the political leaders are giving some schemes, announcing some ujwala and some those kind of. So these are the only 2 to 3 areas on which women have any visibility in the mainstream media. And when I say mainstream media, that is our public sphere. That's what the public is talking about. That's the national identity of the country, right?
So you know,
Conversation. and
संगीता
and
होता
you
क्या
are
है?
excluding the women from that. You are representing the women either as victims of crimes or as tokenistic, tools for the political leaders to do their propaganda, or some even corporate leaders. I mean, political and corporate leaders, they all do these announcements for women empowerment. And women empowerment is like a very fashionable thing to say these days. Every other leader is coming and talking about women empowerment. But like you rightly said, nobody is questioning the power structure. Nobody is questioning gender roles. Nobody is questioning, women's these
No,
habits.
I will
How
interject over
men
here.
men
Why?
explain away women's
Point is
issues.
that point ये है संयुक्त. It's a very clear thing. Why would I leave my privilege? तुम्हें अगर 2 टॉफी दे के मैं चुप करा सकती हूँ, why would I
Yeah,
leave my privileges? As simple as that.
yeah.
मुझे घर I love Twinkle Khanna. She was telling the other day in interview. She said that there was this writer who wakes up at 4 a.m. and he just goes to a room and writes for 12 hours and comes back, does his yoga and sleeps, eat his food and sleep. She said, I want the wife he has.
She said, I didn't get that. She said,
I want the wife he has. I want the wife he has.
okay, interesting.
I
She
don't want
she
his talent. I want the wife he has.
Yeah.
You know? So that is how it is. We are supposed to build the platform for men where they can go and perform. That is the basic structure of patriarchy. So abhi, it is only after coming of social media, women are telling their stories. इसीलिए सब पागल हो रहे, हमारे घर में तो नहीं होता है. तुम
Yeah.
तो बदमाश हो संयुक्ता, तुम तो झूठ बोलती हो। तो हमें
Hmm.
डिफाइलिंग किया जाता है, वेस्टर्न एजेंट है ये तो, वेस्ट से। मुझे तो बोलते हैं मुझे कोई पैसा देता है, मैं विश आई हैड दैट काइंड ऑफ मनी, आई विश।
Really? Really? I know. Same
You
here.
know, paid labor, unpaid labor is a foreign structure, is a foreign structure. It's a funny thing, बेसिक चीज़ों को हम बेसिक बात कर रहे हैं। आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग एनीथिंग वेरी बिग थिंग इन लाइफ, आई एम टॉकिंग द स्मॉल थिंग, पेड लेबर, अनपेड लेबर। गवर्नमेंट
Yeah.
ऑफ इंडिया का रिपोर्ट है, ORF की रिपोर्ट है, SBI की रिपोर्ट है, 80% of unpaid labor is done by women. That is
Hmm.
7% of the India's GDP. Can you beat
Yeah.
that? $7 trillion की इकोनॉमी होती है, कैन यू बिलीव इट? एंड देन दे से दैट वो तो प्यार से करती है, प्यार से या उसका कोई चॉइस से नहीं है।
उसका कोई चॉइस नहीं है। This
हम
exactly
लव
the
को ना, लव को अब्यूज को ना लव लव में टर्न कर देते हैं, एंड देन
yeah
वी मेक द पर्सन बिलीव क्योंकि तुम्हारा ये कर्तव्य है, इतना प्यार है, and that is why you are supposed to do, and women do it because you are structured that way, and then they become the foot soldiers of patriarchy and do that to other women. मुझे इतना मारा गया है एज अ बहू, मैं अपनी बहू को करूंगी बिकॉज मेरे पास
yeah
जब
yeah
थोड़ा पावर आया
even
है,
in food
अब
soldier
तो
yeah
मैं करके रहूंगी. The trauma women have is very different from trauma men have. Yes, men have trauma, but women's trauma is very different from men. So, are our therapists, which is most of them are men, psychiatrists, are they able to deconstruct that trauma that
yeah
women have? Has always been my question.
it's not yeah it's it's also not just trauma. There is this other concept of how you have given the woman, आपने उसको घर के चार दीवारी में बोल दिया कि ये तुम्हारी दुनिया है. So within the four walls, your resources are limited, right? And you have one throne to capture, and you have to
Hmm.
keep these men. Like आप बचपन में उसको बताते हो कि तुम्हें अपने फादर को खुश रखना है, तुम्हें पापा की बेटी बननी है, पापा का नाम रोशन करना है. You have to keep the honor of the father and the family in the childhood. Then when she grows up, you have to appease to a man and get married. Hold a man and marry him. Then after marriage, hold on to the man so that he doesn't go or run off with another woman and divorce you. Then you beget a son. You are then now you control the son. So throughout the life, the woman is told that this domestic sphere is your world, and in this
Can you hear me?
so you have competition on the other women in the house, the men of the house, either it be the father, the husband, the son.
It is the
When
bargain
that
of
is what you're
patriarchy.
telling the women,
This is
yeah, sorry.
exactly what is the this is exactly the bargain of patriarchy. तुम्हारी स्पेस ही इतनी कम है
So
that this is all
obviously
I can
then
find.
out of that competition, there is this sense of now dominating the other woman. So when they say that you become औरत औरत की दुश्मन होती है, or when they become the tool of patriarchy, why is it happening? Because you haven't given them the space.
और दूसरी बात, I was studying on that when women talk, or when a lot of women sit and talk, क्या जनानी की बात है, women are just gossiping. The way, because if you take those conversations seriously, women will start telling their stories, and if 5 or 10 women unite, it is a threat to patriarchy. इसीलिए अरे गॉसिप कर रहे हैं, अरे ये तो किटी पार्टी है. इंडिया में अगर आप देखो किटी पार्टीज होती है, दे एक्सचेंज मनी, राइट? My landlady does it. 1 lakh rupees they get. Each one woman get it, and
Yeah,
that they don't have any signing amount. 12 लोग होते हैं, सब 10-10 हजार देते हैं every month. So I get 1,20,000 1 month. You get 1,20,000, and this is one of the the greatest, one of the वो जो small scale economy है,
हाँ,
micro economy, उससे वो चलती है. It is
micro.
a saving bank of women.
Yeah,
Despite
yeah,
they are not having, they cannot take loans because they don't have anything in their name. So
yeah,
kitty party करती है 12 women from the society, एक ही घर में सब इस एक ही बिल्डिंग में रहती है. दे मीट, दे हैव फन, दे हैव सम फूड इधर उधर से, एंड सब 10-10 हज़ार बचा के रखती है, सो दैट फाइनली दैट मनी कम्स टू वन वुमन,
Yeah.
and she can start a business, she can educate her children. It is so empowering, you see. Men
So
have not been
empowering.
able to do it. They go
Yeah.
to banks, women go to each other. एंड उसको
Yeah.
कितना मजाक बनाया गया है.
उसको
अरे
कितना
पतियों का
मजा.
पैसा
So
लगे.
true. So true. People have
That
made
is
fun
how
of the kitty party. Yeah.
conversation so demonize किया जाता है. So everything that you do is duplicate. ये तो अरे करते रहते हैं.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the power of going to a bank and get a loan. They do it among their friends. And imagine everyone trusting someone with 1 lakh rupee every month. क्या हो वो next month ना आए तो भाग जाए. But ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ because my landlady does. I have literally seen that in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
This is macro economy. एक economy चला देती है, not earning 1 rupee. Imagine that.
Mm. Yeah. Absolutely.
How powerful is that? तुम सोचो किसी का लॉस भी नहीं होता है और किसी सबका घर चल जाता है. So when women meet, हम लोग gather
And
बहुत
men
करते हैं.
would want to explain that away as oh, these kitty parties are like only for fashion and some gossiping. That's how they would explain away that very important. We have really spoken for about 46 minutes now, so we're
That's all
running out
right. We
of
can
time.
go. That's all right. Don't
So
worry.
yeah, but
This
so let's quickly discuss some of these things that I wanted to discuss. So I was telling you about what was this thing on Twitter which caught my attention was this photograph of Shah Rukh Khan being kissed by Deepika Padukone. Deepika Padukone was planted a kiss on Shah Rukh Khan, and that photo was shared by Ranveer Singh, who is Deepika's husband,
husband. Hmm.
and a whole bunch of men, women, mostly
Hmm.
this man Pratik Aryan, whose tweet had gone viral, who has a huge problem, and I'm going to just like read what he has written. He written a married woman kissing another married man and her husband, romanticizing it is absolutely nonsense behavior. The virus that Bollywood culture is spreading is causing havoc in society, and common people acquiring their culture are the reason for increased cheating in relationships, extramarital affairs, and an increase in the divorce rate. What kind of
Okay.
trend are these Bollywood actors setting in society through their movies and on camera behavior? It is extremely dangerous for society. I don't know who these people who admire them as their idols. So, this is a man
Very
trying to
young guy. Very
explain
young. Hardly 25, 26. Very young boy. He's a very young
how
guy. He's a very young guy. He should be around 25, 26. बहुत young
yeah,
लड़का है ये.
probably very young guy, trying to explain some problem. He's got like whole bunch of problem in this one photograph of Deepika planting up a kiss on Shah Rukh. And here I'm like, here is a man trying to explain all these problems in what two consenting adults are doing, particularly because it's involving a woman who is a confident adult woman who can do what she wants to do with her private life, and it's two people's private life, and you have nothing to do, no business in this, but you have like this long tweet and bringing out the whole societal and national cultural problems in it.
No,
Now,
and you missed out one word. She's very rich. You forgot that. She's
I,
a rich woman. You didn't
she's
use
a
the
rich
word
woman.
rich.
Yeah.
Very rich. Very
Now,
rich. Very rich.
exactly. So now, I mean, what? Why is it insecurity or what? This
No,
is
the whole point is
insecurity,
that no, this is also depravity, sexual depravity, because
sexual depravity.
every touch is supposed to be sexual between a
Yeah.
man and a woman, unless they are children below the age of 3 or 2, right? So इतनी हमारी depravity है. Even woman, I won't let my husband touch somebody. वो आपकी standards है ना, and you don't want it, great.
Yeah, there was a
But
woman also who made similar tweets that
lot of
I
women,
would
lot of
not
women. But
let
that is all
my
right. But Deepika Padukone is not going to kiss your husband. Relax on that for to begin
relax
with.
on that. Yeah.
And she is kissing whom? Shah Rukh Khan, who will be known for eternity. and she
Yeah.
is a powerful woman, and even 100 years down the line she will be remembered. You and I won't be. Let us understand the power structure first.
Yeah.
So the point is that every touch is sexualized. Every intimacy between a man and a woman is sexualized. What does that talk about our society? We are so deprived. Mothers don't touch their sons once
Wonderfully
they a
put.
little grow up, right? So basically, we have sexualized every touch, which is so fundamental and normal to human beings. Scientifically, hardly 2-3% of the touch is actually sexual. Rest are all normal. You can't touch someone's cheek like this. हाँ इसका तो कुछ गड़बड़ है.
Yeah. That actually brings me to a part of the political agenda also. In a lot of these photos that goes viral of Mr. Nehru, who was very who had a very healthy relationship with a lot of women. Of course, he probably also had romantic affairs with women. I'm not going there, but a lot of these photographs that are circulated in the right wing circle are actually, one is Nehru's niece, one is Nehru's sister, where they are like you said, it's just a kiss on the cheek, and they see it in a sexual manner. And you are saying it comes from a sexual depravity.
And one
It is
more thing,
coming
our
from repressed sexuality.
culturally हम लोग celibacy को बहुत promote करते हैं. है ना?
Yeah.
ये इवन द माता और जो भी है, ओ गॉड ये तो माता है, एंड हम लोग पैर छू लेंगे
Ah,
because she never had a relationship with a man, intimate
yeah.
relationship. Even a man, sadhu hai, culturally also for generations and centuries हम लोगों ने सेलिब्रेसी को बहुत प्रमोट किया है, बट दैट वाज फॉर साधुत्व, दैट वाज फॉर सेंटहुड. बट नॉर्मल ह्यूमन बीइंग के लिए तो इट वाज ऑलवेज नॉर्मल टू हैव
Yeah.
टच एंड रिलेशनशिप. उसको इतना डिमोनाइज किया गया है, स्पेशली विद द कमिंग ऑफ द ब्रिटिशर्स. मैं तो कोणार्क पे थी उस दिन, एंड दैट वाज देयर सो मेनी स्कल्पचर्स आर ऑफ द काम सूत्र.
Yeah.
Literally the Kama Sutra are there. The dresses the women are
Exactly.
wearing. Women are riding horses. But with
Yeah.
the coming of the Britishers, और आपका जो criminal act passed हुआ था 1840 और 50, हाँ I might be wrong, वो जो third gender को criminalize कर दिया गया, LGBT
Yeah.
को communalize कर दिया गया था है.
Absolutely.
India is a place where men hold men hands, but the LGBTN वाला जो है आपका जो sexuality का पूरा arc है, it is man, woman, and their one child that they have. Sexuality was always fluid in this country, and now also
Yeah.
you can see Delhi maybe man hold hand and walk around.
Yeah.
Man could meet man and just be like, have those intimate moments,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
doesn't need to be gay relationships.
Hmm.
और इसीलिए आप जो हमारे यहाँ पर जो थर्ड जेंडर होते हैं, जिनको आप हिजरा कहते हैं, उनका तो
Ah,
एक अलग कल्चर है, उनका अलग एक दुनिया है. इट वाज ओनली इन 2002 इनको थर्ड जेंडर माना गया था, बिकॉज उनको क्रिमिनलाइज किया गया था ड्यूरिंग द ब्रिटिश रूल. इनको तो खत्म कर दिया गया था. आई डोंट नो हाउ
yeah.
दे इवन सर्वाइव्ड
The
ऑल
British,
दैट.
the British got their Victorian sense of
Victorian, sorry,
morality
not that. Yes,
to
yes,
India.
Victorian morality. Yes, and
Victorian
because we were the
morality.
subject, we had to buy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Sexuality was always all for God's sake. Our gods are so well dressed. When Krishna comes, he's
Yeah.
so well dressed. है ना? हमारे
That,
dancers देखिए आप. They are the men are
exactly.
dancing. And I forgot kiski biography thi, or something. He came to India and he was like, men wear kajals over here. Koel, because nowhere in the world men wore kajals and
Kohol,
हाथ
yeah.
में
Kohol guys. Yeah.
कंगन
Yeah.
पहनते थे, है ना?
Yeah.
And men used to style
Our
themselves.
look at our folk. If you look at the folk, our folk dances costumes.
Absolutely,
Men wear jewelry. Men wear
absolutely.
kangan, and
Our gods wear that.
anklets, and
Our gods wear that. What are
our
you
gods
telling us
wear.
about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally,
What are you
totally.
telling me about
Ironically,
man clothing? कृष्णा तो मोर पंख लगा के आते थे. तुम
more
क्या
punk.
बात कर रही हो?
I
तुम
know.
क्या बात कर रही हो
And
about gender dressing?
ironically, it is the right wing today who thinks that all this Victorian morality, which is outraging on Labour's view, There was this Netflix TV series in which there was a scene of a woman, like a couple kissing near a temple or something, and there was this outrage. No, temple cannot be a place where you can kiss. But like you can't, like this these fear of sexuality and and religion is more prevalent in the church and the mosques. It's the church and the mosque which is more scared of women's sexuality within the premises of that religious building. With temples were never like off limits for for sexual depiction. That's why we have our temples having so many erotic art being depicted on our temples. Today,
Because sex is a
ironically,
part of
the right
life.
wing wants to take that Victorian notions and wants to claim that all the sexual liberation is so called Western. But we
And
were already
but
sexually
that
liberated.
has that has come from generations of subjudication, because you would be
and
punished
and, and
before.
repression and sexual repression.
Repression has, yes, that
Yeah,
is what it has come from.
yeah,
And it's funny, man can dance. Are you crazy? Our Krishna dance. You crazy? You telling me men don't dance?
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
kidding me? Look at our men dancing. Look how they are dressed. Our gods are so well dressed. तुम मंदिर में जाओ तो भगवान को देख के अच्छा ही लगता है ना?
yeah.
So men, मर्दों का सजना is, I don't even have to tell you, मंदिर खोल के तो देखो, शिव जी का
Very true.
तांडव होता है, कृष्णा का रास होता है. What are you telling me that men and kajal lagana and all that are like funny? Just a trolling kiya
Yeah.
jata hai. There's this influencer who does it, and he was just trolled.
And and
Are you
today when
kidding me?
we for years, for decades, we have made culturally, Bollywood and all, have made fun of men who do these things. Men who put on
Exactly.
makeup, men who dress up, men if they're wearing colorful dresses, colorful shirts,
Basically, they
is
laugh
made
at the
fun of.
LGBTQA community.
Yeah,
Remember Raja Hindustan Naram Garam, and they will do like this. They're making fun of it.
yeah.
Look at our God, so colorful, so
we are
beautifully
we're so
dressed.
ignorant about their own past. And so, coming back to this tweets, Paromita, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that this fear of divorce rates in the country. First of all, you just said earlier that we only have like 1% of divorce rate according to some statistics. So, which is pathetically low, the lowest in the whole world, apparently. India has 1% divorce rate. But this fear of cheating, extramarital affairs, and divorce rate. It is my understanding, I may be wrong, and you please chip in here. I believe that when men and women in a relationship, when both the partners in the relationship are equal, have the same power, that is when you have more cheating, more extramarital affairs, and more divorces. Yes, a woman might be cheating on her partner. A woman might be having extramarital affair, but it somehow shows that she has the power to take that decision. Even if morally, ethically, we might say cheating is wrong, but I see it as the two people in this relationship being equal. That's why she had the guts to go ahead and cheat on him.
No, I don't think.
You don't
Power
agree?
structure, no, I don't agree. When you are subjugated, you don't feel good about something, that is when you will go, right? When I'm so happy at home, why would I do that? And men do it sometimes because of power also. चार बंदियां घुमा के रखी है
So
मैंने.
why do women cheat? Then can look. I like I said, I would see cheating as an act of acting upon our impulses. Like so first of all,
Sometimes, let's
monogamy
be
is
honest,
overrated.
sometimes people fall in love with someone else.
People fall in love, right? So let's say that's why I say that it's acting upon our impulses, right? I may be married, but I meet someone and I fell in love. I felt sexually attracted. I wanted to have a one night stand and I acted upon it. I went ahead and had that. I'm talking about a woman. wouldn't you say that this woman is slightly more empowered, has some slightly more power in her, that she acted on it and was not scared that
No,
what if?
someone might be like, आज कोई है नहीं घर पे, and I can, no one will find out about it. It is not always about having that power. It is about not being
Okay.
found out. That's what cheating is, right? Everyone is monogamous until and unless they are found out by someone else. Isn't that what monogamy is all about? So structurally, I don't think that if you are equal, you are doing it or not. You acted upon it because someone didn't find you had the opportunity of doing it. It's just about opportunities, and
What about divorce? What about divorce? I would say that divorce rates, increasing divorce rate is a sign of women not taking shit anymore.
कहाँ
They are like,
1% है वो 70s या 60s से ही है. There is no increase for God's sake. So,
there's no increase.
report पढ़ लेना. The whole point is that structurally we do not endorse women who have divorced, right?
Yeah,
Our
agree.
society is not constituted for a single person. It is always a man and a wife. पूजा ले लीजिए आप, या कुछ भी है. इट इज़ ऑलवेज लाइक पति कहाँ है या आपकी पत्नी कहाँ है. एंड
हाँ,
हमारे यहाँ पर बहुत बड़ों की चलती है. कुछ झगड़ा वगड़ा हुआ तो लेट्स फिगर इट आउट, बड़ों को बात करने दो,
हाँ,
है ना.
right.
सहना बहुत सिखाया गया है. वुमेन डोंट हैव इकोनॉमिक एम्पावरमेंट. द सोसाइटी इज नॉट कंड्यूसिव. इट डजंट फॉरगिव द डिवोर्सी टैग. कुछ तो गलत किया है. देयर आर सो मच इवन विद पीपल हु अर्न. आई नो पीपल हु अर्न, दे डोंट टेक द स्टेप कि कौन इतना फेस करना चाहेगा. वाई डू आई वॉन्ट टू बी स्लैप्ड एवरी डे. इट्स ओके, अलग अलग रूम में सो जाएंगे ना. सो
Right.
बेसिकली वाई डू आई वॉन्ट टू रॉक द बोथ.
So, so what would you say? What would you say? I mean, if when a woman takes that decision to divorce, and here is this society getting all worked up, saying that, oh my God, divorce rates are increasing. What is it that we are seeing? What is the trend? Like for me, if you ask me, I would say that if you at all see a increase in divorce rate, it is because women, more and more women are realizing their rights and they are not ready to take things lying
बेसिकली
down
अर्निंग
anymore.
पावर
So
हो
therefore,
गया है.
huh,
अर्निंग पावर बढ़ा है. नो
earning
मैटर हाउ
power.
मच आई नो अबाउट माई राइट, इफ आई डू नॉट हैव द पावर टू फीड माई सेल्फ, मैं क्या करूंगी.
Very true.
राइट जान मेरी
Yeah,
बहन, राइट जानने से कुछ नहीं होता. You need to have that thing in your bank that will keep you alive. Survival is always our first instinct. Right तो उसके बाद आता है, wokeness
very
बाद
true.
में आता है.
Yeah,
Human
yeah.
instinct is to survive. Do you have it in you to survive? Because 90s में वो economic change आया था, where more and more women got jobs and money and understand. Then the internet changed our lives. Now people can earn through the internet. And I know people who are teaching through the internet, अभी online classes, and then they decided to part ways because चलो मुझे 30,000 आ रहे, I can pay 7,000 rent और मैं और बेटा 23,000 में रह सकते हैं. At least I will be safe. So that
Right.
is what it is. तुम्हारा
So they're
wokeness हमेशा,
economically become empowered.
that's the
Yeah,
only reason that is the, no empowerment begins with without economic
without
वो,
economic
क्योंकि
empowerment.
खाना
So true.
कहाँ से खाओगे. तुम्हारा ये
Uh,
wokeness जो है, if I pay the rent of this house 35,000, वो नहीं होगा तो मेरा wokeness मैं कहाँ झाड़ूंगी.
very
Sanjukta, let
true.
us be very honest about it.
Yeah, no,
Without
no,
that
absolutely.
financial power, there is no real power with you. जितना मैं तुम्हें ज्ञान दे लूँ, भूख
Mm,
लगेगी ना, I will start looking for leftover in other people's plate. That is what hunger does to you.
yeah.
ज्ञान हमेशा खाने के बाद आता है. भजन हमेशा भूख के बाद आता है. सर्वाइवल इज योर फर्स्ट इंस्टिंक्ट.
Yeah,
एम्पावरमेंट हम जितना भी बोल लें, आई नीड टू सर्वाइव वेल. And if I can do it, I'm okay without not being with this man, whether I marry or not.
yeah. No,
It's
that's
a very
absolutely
simple
beautifully
thing.
put.
It's a very simple
Beautifully put.
thing.
There's no point talking about rights without, unless we can talk about women
मुझे
economic rights, and
मानो
unless they
मुझे
have.
बहुत राइट है. मुझे बहुत राइट्स है, एंड आई नो द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बाय हार्ट. जब भूख लगेगी मैं I can't eat the constitution, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
purchasing
true,
power की बात है.
true, true.
All
So with
wokeness. I know women who are so educated and who know so much, but they have to abide by certain rules because someone else is feeding them.
So you're saying that women probably always know, I mean, a lot of women probably know their rights and maybe always knew their rights, but they could not, they didn't have the, they can't act on, they can't really do anything about it because they don't have economic empowerment. But maybe
I
some
would
women
say that
now are slightly,
bet better, financially
huh,
better. I
maybe
can make
some
that
women
choice too.
are now taking the step to walk out of their marriages, to to, if there's abuse, they're leaving the house, they're taking a different place because they probably have. Do you think that is making men insecure, that
Of
women
course
now
it
have
is, because
have the
that is the
economic
power
power to?
structure. इसीलिए पावर स्ट्रक्चर की बात होती है. And I don't think the women always knew their rights, but now with the internet everyone knows it because it just takes a click, right? और इतनी
Yeah,
conversations हो रही है टॉक्सिक भी. But मुझे जो लगता है this is the time of अमृत मंथन. There is so much of power struggle. Have you seen it? Even on the internet you put up a picture, कोई गलत बोलेगा कोई सही बोलेगा, इतना power struggle है. So this is actually going to be good in the many many coming years. अभी तो
yeah,
सेंचुरी ओल्ड का वॉमिट ना वो निकल रहा है. दैट
हाँ,
इज जैसे अमृत मंथन होती है ना, अमृत
right,
के साथ जहर भी बहुत निकलता है.
because yeah,
So
very
this
true.
is where we are right now. And to every woman listening out here, please earn your own bread and butter. It will save your life. चाहे आप 10,000 अर्न करो 20,000 करो, if you can feed yourself you can make a lot of changes, and money
Yeah,
gives you that power. आप मुझे जितना बुरा बोल लो, इट डजेंट मैटर, ये मेटेरियलिस्टिक है ये है. एंड प्लीज़ प्लीज़ बैठिए ऑनलाइन, लर्न अबाउट हाउ टू सेव योर मनी, हाउ टू मल्टीप्लाई योर मनी.
yeah,
वी आर एजिंग, तो 60 के बाद हाउ यू विल टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ वंस दैट इज सॉर्टेड. आपका एक, आप एक ओल्ड एज होम पे रह सकती हो, आपका एक 1 लाख रुपए हर महीने आ रहा है. You will be
yeah,
much more at peace rather than any other woman. I have never known a well, structured woman fail. My mother is a very well structured woman, and I know why she hasn't failed. And that is how I
yeah,
have become. Right now, I have started thinking that old age pe kya hoga, though it has a lot of time to come, some time to come. 25-30 साल हैं और मेरे पास. But if what's wrong in planning from today, Sanjukta?
yeah,
To have a
yeah,
good life. आप वो 10,000 अगर सेव अब से भी किया बहुत हो जाती है.
very true. No,
So
you're
this is,
absolutely,
please
and
take
like
care, take care.
again, when you said materialistic, that is something that again has a gender bias, because when men can be successful and wealthy, that is seen as their success, right? But women are told that you shouldn't be chasing money, you should not be materialistic.
Because that
It's
gives,
something.
हम वो विनिंग ग्राउंड खोल लेते हैं ना. हाफ द पॉपुलेशन लीव्स द ग्राउंड ना. तो रिसोर्सेज बस एक ही जेंडर को मिलता है, उसमें भी आपका पावर स्ट्रक्चर होता है, कास्ट जेंडर एंड प्रिविलेजेस आ जाती है. बट आई एम
Right.
टेलिंग ऑल वुमेन, आई डोंट नो वेदर यू आर रिच और पुअर, सेव फॉर योर ओल्ड डेज. जिसका
True.
नहीं होता है ना, दुनिया 12 बजा देगी आपकी. और जिसके पास होता है, यू कैन स्टिल टेक अ हाउस, यू कैन स्टिल टेक इट टू स्टे इन अ ओल्ड एज होम वेयर समवन विल टेक केयर ऑफ यू. दैट आप गिर रहे हो तो कोई उठा लेगा, ट्रस्ट मी. सबको बुरा लगता है, क्या ज़रूरत है सोचने की. अब से सोचोगे ना, पूरी ज़िंदगी डिग्निटी पे निकलेगी. एंड ऑलवेज टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ. एज विल कम. आपको नहीं लग रहा है 60 नहीं आएगा, इट विल कम टू यू, ट्रस्ट मी ऑन
It will
दैट.
come. And
Therefore,
I guess.
be a well
Okay.
planned woman. I'm always planned. I am always very well planned. Maybe I cannot live a extremely lavish life. Aaj Paris, kal London. I might not be able to live it, but I know I will always have a very dignified life. And that is so important for women because we are more vulnerable to trauma than men are.
The other day I was coming in the metro and I met this young woman who is wearing a feminist message on her t-shirt. The t-shirt had, so I took a photo of, I asked her
Hmm.
permission. I said, can I take a photo? And I took a photo. Then we started talking, and I told her that, well, I'm a lawyer, I'm a journalist, and all that. So she was asking me about journalism as a profession, and I said that it's like it's a very. She said, I have heard it's a very, you have to be very brave. So I said, yeah, it's particularly you have to be brave if you really want to be a true journalist in today's time, because in today's time the main your main uh, job of a journalist, which is questioning the those in power, has become the most dangerous area, because these you are not allowed to question. And the other thing that you need bravery to be a journalist, is that you wouldn't have any money, because you wouldn't get permanent jobs, and you have to be ready to really do journalism for maybe on your own. You become a YouTube journalist, you become a freelancer, but you have to be ready to not be able to earn much. So money is going to be an issue. So if you're ready for that, that is a bravery. And so she then asked me that, what is your opinion on following what your soul wants you to follow without worrying about how much money that is going to get me. So I told her this, and I'm going to give that answer here for those viewers who are watching. I told her that I am 45, I'm 46 actually. I am 46. I have been a lawyer, a communications consultant, journalist. I've studied feminism. I've done so many things in my life, banking laws, real estate laws, but I haven't really ever chased money. I haven't really done anything for money. I have only done those things that I wanted to do, and it didn't. If that meant that I'm not getting any earning from that, that's fine. But I made my choices accordingly. I did not have liabilities. So whenever I have earned, I am making myself, I'm making that road, I'm carving that road, making those choices where I don't have liabilities, and I'm not dependent on someone to take care of me, and nobody else is dependent on me, which is why I consciously stayed single. I consciously did not have a child. So so these are yours. I mean, when you can make the choice, of course, if you have a parent and your parents are dependent on you, then you can't make that choice that I don't need money. Of course, you need to have money to take care of your parents. But in my case, that's not the case. My father is like, he has his pension. So what I'm trying to say is that my advice to men, women, but women more, is that, we're going to come back to something that I was earlier thinking when we were talking about, our specific humanity. Like, uh, everybody, we are all, this ye pyar ke liye karte hain, this gender roles. When we question gender roles, when we question our unpaid work in the family, that we do, and the paid work, this gender segregation, that the paid work outside will be done by men, and the unpaid work of the nurturing and the caring is being done by women in the domestic sphere. And this we associate with love and care. And we talk about big honor and mata and all of that. Motherhood is so glorified and all of that. But at the end of the day, no woman does this for love or care. Why? I'm not questioning women's motherhood. I'm not questioning women's intentions of doing something. It's because we were designed, we were born as a body of mass, flesh and blood, right? We're all breathe, eat, and reproduce and excrete. But how do we actually become human? How do we actually gain our identity and our specific humanity? That comes from engaging in the public sphere. And this is something Hannah Arendt says. Hannah Arendt is a philosopher who wrote about, she survived the Holocaust, and she wrote
Holocaust.
about this thing that uh, we gain our specific humanity not in the private sphere. She completely dismisses this idea that, oh, if I am only just raising my children, I am doing something great in life, just being the mother, or just being the bahu, just being the beti in the domestic sphere. And even if I don't go out. So, so we have this new age thing about honoring the housemakers, the homemakers, and not looking down upon them. I'm not looking down upon anybody, but I'm saying that what we need to remember is that human beings are, inherently we need to find our purpose and identity, and even to be somebody, to be a human, we need to engage in the public sphere. We cannot do it in the private sphere.
True.
And that is why the unpaid labor at home, alone, doing that alone cannot give you your identity, your purpose, your specific humanity. And nobody is doing that willingly. We do it, women do it because it is a power structure, because it has been instilled, drilled into their head for centuries and centuries, because it has been, these are gender roles that are going on, all that. But, and to add, to connect it to the materialistic, the money part that we were discussing, is that when I say engage in the public sphere, it doesn't have to make, you don't have to make money necessarily, but you are engaging in the public sphere means you are creating an identity, you are creating a purpose for yourself, you finding a meaning in your actions in the public sphere. Even if you, like, if you take for my example, right now what I'm doing with women news is actually I'm not making money, and I'm not in a full-time job, and I have made my choices that I'm okay with this, because I don't need that money for any kind of survivability questions or any kind of, like, I don't have to worry about that. Of course, those are my privileges. I have done job, I've got some savings, I've got a father, I live with my father, I've got a roof over my head, so I have those privileges, of course, and I am talking about only myself. I'm just saying that women could make these choices where they can negotiate with what privilege they have, what more they want, and and money, how much does the money means to them, whether the money is just for survival or it means more. But at the end of the day, what I'm just trying to say is that I strongly believe that engaging with public sphere is vital for our identity and our meaning and our purposes. So, what do you think about that?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. What you see, you become.
Yeah.
Right. So what little girls will see, they will become. Who are our heroes? And heroes are not like sitting in four walls. They have gone out in wars, right? They have been in public spaces. They have changed our lives. So who is
Absolutely.
touching our lives directly? है ना? तो हम अगर चार politicians को कल देख रहे हैं, पांच को देख रहे हैं, they are talking about what matters to us. We will want to be become them. That is why we need role models
We
की
need
बात
role
होती है.
models. Yeah. Yeah.
That is why we need more women in the public spaces, चाहे वो बस हो, चाहे वो train हो, चाहे वो office हो, so that you know that finally our जो story, जो power is always about narrative, whose narrative, किसकी narrative चल रही है और
Yes.
कौन सुन रहा है.
Yeah. Hmm.
That is power. No one is fighting you because they hate you. They are fighting you because they want their narrative to be above you. It is
Yeah.
as simple as that. It is
Then,
symbolism. मेरा symbol flag में होगा या तुम्हारा symbol flag में होगा. भगवान को किस नाम से हम बुलाएंगे, वो पावर स्ट्रक्चर की बात
hmm.
होती है.
Hmm.
सो बेसिकली व्हाट पीपल विल सी दे विल बिकम. सो इसीलिए जैसे ये प्रतीक आर्यन का लड़का बोल रहा है कि दिस इज रूइनिंग आवर सोसाइटी, ही वांट्स टू द विक्टोरियन मॉडल टू बी फॉलोड.
Yeah.
We want to be the secular model to be followed.
Yeah.
इसीलिए clash is always about ideas. It was never about people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So if we see more powerful women speaking, talking,
Yeah.
and talking about matters to us, I
Yeah.
think that is
We
what
absolutely need
the
to see
narratives
more.
change will be.
Yeah, we absolutely need to see
Okay.
more women, and not just in power role, but I also feel that more women in general.
General,
In general, like you said,
absolutely.
buses, trains,
Be-
let's just have more women
क्योंकि
around us. And
क्योंकि
and also
जितना
like,
जिस I'll just interject here.
yeah,
जितना जिस चीज को छुपाया जाता है, उसके ऊपर the anyone can go and tell, you know, why women don't come out in the public space. Someone else can tell your narrative. Imagine the power you are giving to someone
yeah,
else. Why I want to be at home should be my narrative. But मुझे रखा गया है and someone else gives that narrative, you have given your complete power
Yeah,
to that person. Its power is always about that narrative because narrative
yeah.
becomes your destiny at the end of the day.
Very true. From active to from passive to active. It's like,
That's
I
it.
am at home or mujhe rakha gaya hai. It's very interesting. From our language
Who is
itself,
telling?
we can see the difference in our language itself, right? Yeah.
And whose story is being
True story.
told
Yeah.
and whose story is being heard. किसकी बोली जा रही किसकी सुनी जा रही, दैट इज द होल, दैट चेंजेस द होल नैरेटिव्स. इसीलिए स्टोरी टेलर्स की इतनी इज्जत होती थी. इफ यू लिसन टू द ईसप से लेकर जाटाका टेल्स को लेकर, वाई दे हैव रन फॉर सेंचुरीज एंड सेंचुरीज. अगर हम स्पिरिचुअल लीडर्स की भी बात कर ले, दे ऑलवेज स्पोक टू कॉमन पीपल अबाउट स्टोरीज. बेसिकली नैरेटिव बोलते जाते हैं. हमें अच्छा क्यों बनना होता है, हमें
Right.
दूसरों को क्यों नहीं मारना होता है. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इसीलिए पीपल फिर कन्वर्ट होते हैं, यू नो. सो इसीलिए वन पर्सन सिट्स एंड 20 लोग आते हैं टू लिसन टू हिम. तो उसकी
Yeah.
नैरेटिव चल, जिसकी
Yeah.
नैरेटिव चलती है पावर उसकी चलती है. सो दैट हैज़ बिन अ पावर स्ट्रगल सिंस सेंचुरीज, और ये पावर स्ट्रगल हमारे बाद भी चलता रहेगा. सो इफ
Yeah,
यू
well,
सी
of
इट
course
फ्रॉम
it
दैट
is.
स्टैंड
Of
पॉइंट,
course it'll, yeah, it's a never ending, and like you said,
नेवर एंडिंग
everybody's
प्रोसेस.
competing for power. But yeah, on on that
इंसान को
note,
बनाया वैसा क्या है. थैंक यू. लवली.
so we had a 1 hour 20 minutes chat. Thank you so much for giving me your time, Paramita. Really, really appreciate this. And
थैंक यू सो मच.
I hope you liked it, and I'll really request to please share the link
I'll
to
do
the
that.
live
I'll do
link
that.
with your followers, with your networks.
We'll
Let
do
more
that. We'll
people
do that.
see. Let's build this momentum to have a feminist space where two of us can just come and we can talk in a free flowing, free spirited way on everything
Yes,
under the
please.
sun. Right?
Yes, please.
So
Yes,
thank you
please.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye. You
Bye.
too.